Great morning, great morning, great morning. I am Nicole D. Jones, and I am just happy and grateful for another day. I'm happy and grateful for life. I say it every week, and I will continue to say it. I don't take days for granted. I don't take life for granted. I don't take you for granted. I want to remind you that you are healthy, you are wealthy, you are prosperous. Everything your hands go to touch, it must, it shall, and it will manifest, prosper, and grow great things because you are great. You're created out of greatness. You're created out of love. So that makes you great. That makes you loved. That makes you someone who gives love. You are spirit with soul wrapped in this flesh. And this flesh, this world, it does not dictate who you are or whose you are. Never forget that. All right. So it's Meal Prep Monday. And, I've been doing the whole self-deception and how we go through the process of going through that. And when we see ourselves, but now this week, and y'all have to forgive me because I can't pull up my notes. So I'm kind of going off of what hit me. How about that? Let me just talk about that this week. Meal Prep Monday. This week, I want us to reflect on renewing and rebuilding. So we're willing to see ourselves. We're willing to acknowledge that there is self-deception. We're understanding how to heal and grow from that place. To be the best version of you unapologetically, you must do it through a posture of submission and humility. It will, if we don't do it in the right posture, we'll become arrogant and proud. But that's not who you really are, okay? We're spirit with soul wrapped in this flesh. And the reason we deal with ourselves is so that we can be our best true self, not our false self, not what trauma has told us we are, not what word curses has told us we are, not what people's opinions have told us we are, okay? So this is the thing. Since we have been willing to do a deep and honest examination of ourselves, we've got to go into the next phase of it, the next step of it, all right? Because this is the thing. I want you to ask yourself fundamental questions. Who am I? If y'all can't write this down, go back to the recording, okay? Who am I? What are my strengths and weaknesses? What are my values and beliefs? What are the recurring patterns in my life? And where have those patterns led me to today? All right, I'm gonna say that again. Write these questions down because I want you to spend time. Because these are fundamental questions, all right? We're spirit with soul wrapped in this flesh, but this life, this journey, things that we've gone through, good and bad, they have molded us, all right? That's our false self. There's a true self in us, okay? So ask yourself, who am I? What are my strengths and weaknesses? What are my values and beliefs? What are recurring patterns in my life? And where have they led me today? All right? Because we got to remember that self-reflection, it's an ongoing activity. We're self-reflecting all the time to be the best version of us. We have to self-reflect, okay? In order for us to allow our true self to supersede and overcome our false self, we got to do that, all right? Then while you're doing this, and like I told you, journaling is good, meditation is good. When you're self-reflecting, you got to get it out, okay? When you're self-reflecting, you got to be, this is why you got to know the people who are called to your life in the season that you're in, because you've got to be, like I've been telling you the past couple of weeks, willing to hear the constructive criticism that comes from your safe places, okay? willing to hear how people see you, that love you, trust you, accept you, and cover you. We don't need everyone's reflection of us. We need the God-ordained people, the ones who are called to walk with us in this season as we grow and develop. All right? So here's the thing. And y'all forgive me because I can't get to my notes. So I'm just kind of going off the cuff of what I wrote in my own journaling. But so you got to be able to set time aside. And be willing to acknowledge the things you have accomplished and the things that you have failed. All right? You've got to be able to look back in the totality of your journey. We cannot deceive ourselves as we understand, okay? We can't just look at everything we do right without looking at what we've done wrong, okay? Nobody's perfect. It's the process that we're going through, not the perfect posture. It's the process posture. It's the keep getting up posture that we do. It is not the perfect posture. We're not perfect, okay? So we can't focus on everything we do right, but we also can't focus on everything we do wrong. We are not here to self-sabotage and beat our own self up. Okay, but you've got to be willing to look at your strength and your weaknesses, because if you focus on your strengths too much, you can become arrogant and proud, cocky, whatever. If you focus on your weaknesses too much, you'll just be the Debbie Downer and the victim. We're victorious, and sometimes we feel victimized. Okay, they're two emotions that are human nature and necessary, but we don't get stuck, okay? We gotta be able to look at our pros and our cons all the time. That's why I say my glass is always half full, never half empty. Even if I'm dry now, I need some water, all right? But if I go pick it up, the cup I've been drinking out of, it's still half full to me. I just gotta make it overflow, all right? Perspective. So we're doing this to become more aware and to become clear on where we have to do better. Okay. The whole purpose of this is where do we have to grow? It's learning and growing. All right. So let me see something. We have to be mindful of our daily routines. We have to pay attention to our thoughts, our emotions, and our behaviors. Okay? You've got to, so we've done the self-reflection. We understand that all of us in some way or form, we deny ourselves, all right? We're deceiving ourselves. We think we're one way, we're really not. You know, I think I'm great. Let me go ask Jaden. He's kind of brutally honest. You know, no disrespect, mommy, but yeah, no, no. That you think that's what you did, that ain't what you did. All right. So we all have a perception, but the reality is what we see is not always correct. Okay. We've got to be willing to look at those things, because this is the thing. You're going to be known by the fruit that you bear. We can do many things, but what is being produced by the actions that we actually do? I can think I'm a great mom, but if you look at my kids and there's nothing great with them, then maybe I'm not as great as I think I am as a mother. It doesn't mean that they don't have their own stuff they have to own, but I may think that I kept them in these private schools and in these elite neighborhoods so that they could be super smart and respectful. And then my kid's the one on the corner doing whatever he do on the corner and disrespectful. Okay, what does my fruit, what did I produce? What does my fruit say? You can think that you're a super nice person, but every time people come around you, they run in like roaches when you turn on the light. How nice are you? if they running from you. Fruit, okay? We have to learn to examine one another by the fruit that we bear and that we leave, all right? So here's the thing. We've got to be in a place where we're willing to rebuild and renew any of those areas or those places that are not maybe where we thought that they were, okay? So we've got to be willing to go back and look at these situations that have happened in our life. You got to be willing to go back to those traumatic experiences. You got to be willing to, and you got to be willing to do it with someone. Don't try to do these things alone. We were not created to do things alone. You have to bear your own cross, but we walk together. We gain strength one from another. All right. You got to be willing to realize that all the decisions that you've made have not been the best decisions. Okay. You got to realize that the only way we can rebuild in an area is we got to realize that the way we did it the first time may not have been the best way. It doesn't mean that it crumbled and fell, but it could be better. You've got to be willing to see these things, because if you never see that there's an area in your life that needs to change, you won't change it, okay? You also have to know that we're evolving. So you've got to be willing to look at the relationships in your life too. You've got to be honest to see if these relationships still serve you to the capacity that you need to be served in the place that you're at. Okay? Let me see. You got to be open to constructive criticism. You got to want to learn from others' observations in this journey of self-reflection and awareness. This is what I wrote to myself. All right. I have to practice self-compassion, be kind and gentle to myself as I uncover my imperfections and areas of growth and understanding. I have to see that I have strengths and weaknesses, and that my goal is progress, not perfection. Okay? Sorry, I don't have my notes. So I'm going by what I wrote to myself. So y'all just all up in my journal today. But it's okay. It's okay. Because this is it's Meal Prep Monday. And I want us to be able to go through what we're going through, but understand that it is to renew, to rebuild, to refresh, to be the best versions of us unapologetically. We're not pulling layers back on our onion just to be mediocre or the same. That's not why we're doing it, okay? So we got to be able to shift our perspective. We got to be willing to embrace change. And the only way that you can embrace change is by letting go of your past, all right? You got to be willing to let go of your past. You got to be willing to let go of the past so that you can serve yourself in the present, knowing that the reward will be in your future. Because time, every moment we have in this journey, we're actually walking in 3 time zones. Past, present, future. Okay? Everything that I said, I thought about, I am speaking it, and it's good. I will speak it because I thought it, and now it's gone. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. But never mind. Never mind. All right. But we got to understand this, all right? You got to also know that all change is uncomfortable. All change is uncomfortable because change is uncertainty. Anything that you have to change, you don't know what's about to happen. If it's good or bad. All change is uncomfortable. So what happens is while we're in this journey, we get comfortable in what we know. But how can you evolve and grow if you're never willing to go into that uncertainty place? All right. So I put on here, I have to be willing to embrace change. I have to be willing to evaluate, reevaluate, and define my goals and priorities. As I grow and evolve, I have to understand that my aspirations may change. I have to be flexible and I have to be open to evolution. What I may have wanted a few years ago, it may no longer be relevant or even fulfilling. Embracing change means continuously assessing my goals and ensuring that they're in line with my current values and desires. The whole reason I got on this bandwagon is because I believe that Jehovah God was talking to me about my belief system. As he was talking to me about my belief system, I had to check my character. My character was whacked and a little bit on crack. So I had to figure out how to deal with my character before I dealt with my belief system. Because whatever I believe, I'm going to walk out. Okay. So now that's all I've done over the past, a couple months with you guys. Go back and listen to it. In order for us to be the best versions of us unapologetically, we got to deal with the core and the root of us, knowing that this is a predestined, preordained journey that is fixed, that we win, that there is purpose. We are purpose. We were brought into this journey when we were brought into it because our name is great and will be left in the world. We are more relevant than just to those we love, just to our family, just to our friends, and just to our enemies. You are relevant even to your enemies because you have a part and a process of their growth and expansion, just like they have for you. Okay? We're so much more than what we even understand. This is what got me on this. All right? Then I couldn't find, for whatever reason, my notes won't come up. So I'm reading out my journal to y'all. All right? So here's the thing. We got to understand, I have to understand that belief, I can form my belief if I'm willing to know that I have the ability to change. This is what I wrote. I have a growth mindset, so I will view challenges and setbacks as opportunities to learn and improve rather than as a threat of my competence. Y'all do know that everything that doesn't go right is not because we stuck on stupid. Okay? Everything that doesn't happen our way, it doesn't mean that we are less than. See, these are the things I have to speak to me. Because if not, my failures or the things that I think, are not going the way that I think they should go. God, I feel like I'm on a rant today. I'm on my own rant, right? Because we've got to learn to renew our mind if we're going to rebuild ourselves. And the things that don't happen the way we see them, it's not because we're so bad. We've got to learn to shift our perspective, readjust and realign. And the only way we can do that is if we're willing to see ourselves. All right? We got to be mindful. I have to be mindful. I have to be mindful, which will help me appreciate my here and now. It'll help me adapt to my new circumstances as they arise. Knowing that I am the best version of me unapologetically in the right posture of submission and humility, I will not walk in any type of arrogance and pride, and I will be encouraged to respond to change with a calm, clear mind rather than reacting impulsively out of fear or anxiety. I hope this is helping you. Because you see, this is another thing. We get stuff out. But if you journal, you should really go back and read it aloud. It's something about hearing, audibly hearing. Because the audible is what gives power. All right. We have authority, but when we speak things, we activate the power. Listen, gotta have a positive outlook. This is where I'm gonna end. You gotta have a positive outlook. Positive outlook helps you see the potential benefits of change, and it motivates you to take constructive action. So when something looks all messed up, because you got to remember, if you're being intentional to really do a self-examination and a self-reflection, you will see that there is some places and some areas that just you need help. All right. We can all do better. But when you keep a positive attitude, when you see something ugly, you can find the beauty in it, because everything has a purpose. You'll see something and understand it's purposeful. Okay, Nicole, everything don't have purpose. Yes, it does. It does. It's just, what do you see? Can you really see it in a positive way and in a positive place? And for me, I listened to a very influential person in my life, and I got to go back and listen to it. I started to this morning and I stopped. I heard what I needed to, right? We've got to understand that we can't do this journey without Jehovah God. Period. We're spirit with soul wrapped in this flesh. If your flesh responds more than your spirit, it's because you're not doing it with your creator, your original DNA creator. You can love him, you can acknowledge him, but you need more of him. I love him, I acknowledge him, but I need more, because my flesh is showing up more than my spirit. All right. See, this is what I mean. I'm not in a self-denial. Now, look, I had to put my little happy shirt on today. Like, I'm doing whatever to self-motivate myself to keep a positive attitude. Meal prep Monday. What do I want you to do? Keep a positive attitude, no matter what's going on. Because as soon as you switch it, all negative things are going to come to you. All negative things are going to come. They're not going to stop. And then when they start, these fiery darts start hitting you like this, and you over here on your knees, you ain't even strong enough, because you're not feeling yourself from your spirit. Your soul is wavering. So your flesh begins to win. And then we blame Jehovah God. It's you. It's me. Okay. So, like I said, I'm on a soapbox for myself. This call might be for me. I don't even know if I need to put it up. But Meal Prep Monday, be willing to renew and reawaken the greatness in you, because you're great. But do it in a honest, self-reflective way, because only you can do it. All right? Only you can deal with you. Only you can control you. We can't control other people. We've got to get to the place where our main focus is us. And when we do it in the right way, we're able to stay humble. We're able to stay submitted. We don't become arrogant. We don't become proud. We can trust that even if we don't see the fruits of our labor, that even when we leave this journey, the fruit will be well, it will be ripe, it will be good tasting, all of those things, because we're good. All right? We're good. That's the only reason I'm doing this. Only reason. Okay? So, Meal Prep Monday. Be willing to continue to walk out your journey. Know that it's a fixed fight. Know that you've already won. Know that the enemy is a defeated foe. Know that the inner enemy in you is already defeated. Know that your soul is going to grow to the height of your spirit, because it's really who you are. Know that whatever you face and whatever you challenge, or your challenge with yourself, that you're already the winner. Everything that you need is in you. Okay? The more we pull out the good tools, the more the other ones will just have to shed off. Period. Okay? It just is what it is. God is a God of principle. As long as we begin to learn and understand the principles, we'll reap the benefit of it. But all of it's beneficial just for you. Okay? So, September 19th and 20th, meet me if you can. Here in Douglasville, we'll be doing an event. Have you met you yet? Is my thought process in it. But Nicole D. Jones will be hosting God's Cover Girls. The visionary of that is Ciamata Nichols. I'm super excited. I forgot to put it up, but it's okay. I couldn't even get my notes today, so I had to read to y'all from my journal because I know what was on my heart. So forgive me if I'm all over the place. Forgive me if it just is a little choppy. I'm just sharing my heart with you guys. I'm literally sharing what I wrote to myself because I couldn't find my notes. Hopefully I'll find them and maybe we can do them next week. But I want you to continue to stay humble, stay focused, stay positive. Be the best version of you unapologetically, because no one else can do it. Your greatness is so overwhelming. Can't nobody touch you. Can't nobody be you, and can't nobody do you. All right? You are relevant. You are necessary. You are needed. You're needed. I need you. Okay? So I thank you. And I want you to continue to have a fantabulous rest of the day. Smooches.